F1 won't suffer if Lewis Hamilton decides to quit Mercedes after Max Verstappen duel. He has spoken. Lewis Hamilton spotted in an appearance on social media. Hang on, it's nothing to do with his F1 future, it's a video from Mercedes marking the Lunar New Year. Oh, and it was pre-recorded before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in December. False alarm, then. The F1 world has been waiting so patiently for any sort of public message from the 7-time world champion that a brief appearance in a pre-planned video on Chinese social media site Weibo got hearts pounding. Alas, there was still no reference from the Briton at all to what happened in the 2021 season finale, as he maintains his silence on that particularly sore subject. And Hamilton is staying tight-lipped on the rumors surrounding his future too. We know from Toto Wolff that he is disillusioned with what happened in Abu Dhabi. Who can blame him? No matter what your thoughts are on Michael Massey's decision to resume racing for that final lap, whether you believed it to be right or wrong, it's understandable that having a title taken from you by something out of your control would leave you feeling helpless and frustrated. But, for now, the waiting game continues. It's becoming more and more likely that Hamilton's final decision does indeed rest on the FIA's investigation, and its findings when revealed to the public on February 14. Fitting, perhaps, that it will be on Valentine's Day when Hamilton finds out whether or not F1 is a sport he can continue to love. Hamilton's place as an F1 legend is secure, and has been for a long time. He has more race wins, podiums and pole positions than anyone else in the sport's history, and his record of 7 drivers' titles can be matched only by Michael Schumacher. The Briton has nothing left to prove, and therefore would lose nothing more than another year or two with a handsome salary if he decides to call it a day now. Not that he'll be left checking the back of the sofa for spare change anytime soon, considering he would remain one of the most marketable athletes on the planet. As incredible as Hamilton is and as much of a huge fan base he has globally, would F1 really take a hit if he left the sport? There is the potential for some reputational damage. If Hamilton were to quit over issues with the FIA's handling of the whole saga, then losing arguably the best driver the sport has ever seen in such a manner would not be a good look. Nevertheless, for how long would that ill feeling realistically linger? Imagine Hamilton quits before the start of the upcoming season. Mercedes use the massive amount of cash saved on his contract to buy out a replacement, the Silver Arrows could realistically afford anyone, and the action begins in March next month. It's hard to imagine any other scenario than F1 just continuing as usual, just with one more new face on the grid. As it stands, Alfa Romeo recruit Guan Yu Zhou is set to be the only debutant in 2022. Considering there is always a wealth of talent in other racing series just waiting for a shot at the pinnacle of motorsport, another free seat can only be a good thing overall. Oscar Piastri, for example, has won world championships in each of the last 3 seasons, including taking the F2 title in 2021. But he was again overlooked for a spot on the F1 grid in 2022. The Australian has the ability to shine, but might never get the chance to do so unless more spots are freed up. Hamilton's departure would be sad in the sense that the sport would be losing a great champion, but going forward it is just another opportunity for the next big star to come along. As one door closes, another one opens. Lewis Hamilton will be just fine once he leaves F1. And while the sport may take a slight bruising, in the long run it will not suffer either.